Welcome to another episode of the Happy Friday Committee Mindset. Today we have a very special guest, Sister Sandy Beauford Muhammad. She is a spiritual counselor and a life coach. How are you doing today, Sister Sandy?
I am doing well. So happy to be here with you. I've seen so many of your interviews, and I'm like, wow, it is an honor truly to be here with you today. I'm excited.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And I know the great work that you do helping others. And I just wanted to get you on here to get your input on things that can help others. Just starting with the Happy Friday mindset, which is being fearless, resilient, intuitive, determined, appreciative, and youthful. And I want to put this in the context of what you do in terms of helping others. If I am a person who is in need of help, I am in the mindset of being kind of fearful. How do I overcome my fears?
Yeah. So that's such a profound question. And I think that question is very beneficial for every single human being. I'd like to first say, in the name of the Most High God, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, I am grateful that that word fearless is the beginning of our topic, because with fear, I don't know how many have ever heard of the acronym of false evidence appearing real. But it indeed is something that we imagine in our minds, and it becomes real in a physical sense, because that which we imagine in our mind, we make choices and decisions on, which makes it a physical reality. So it does not exist anything that we are fearful of or resistant to move through with. Any of that is first in our mind. And so based on the choices we make it real. Yes, so the question that you asked is first us having an understanding of what we believe to be true and what we believe to be real. So just look around you and know whatever that is in your mind doesn't yet have a physical manifestation before you even act on it. And if it does not have a physical manifestation, then that simply means that you have an infinite number of choices, an infinite number of opportunities to move through whatever it is that you are wanting to accomplish in your life. The only person that could ever hold you inside of a space of not beingness, not havingness, is yourself.
Wow.
Nobody else can prevent that. So that's where I would first like us to start off with, realizing that is inside of our mind what we believe we can or cannot do. And then once we identify that, then we can say, okay, let me say, is the thing that's in my mind truly preventing me from moving forward and getting, one, the help that I need, or two, accomplishing the goals that I desire, or three, speaking to the people that can help me to get to where I want to be? Is that what's preventing me? Then that means that it is myself that's in the way. It's not anything that I'm necessarily fearing. I'm really not identifying who I am, which is an infinite God-given being that was birthed here with every right that every other individual had. And that's the right of freedom of expression. And how do you want to express? So that's how I would address that question. I hope I answered that for you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The next question is, how do I face my fears and I fail in some of the goals that I try to reach? And how do I remain resilient in that?
So first thing first, whether you are accomplishing a personal goal, a business goal, a family goal, know with assuredness that there will be failure. What's perceived to be failure.
Yes, ma'am.
Anytime that we get up and want to have or do anything, rest assured, failure is a component of it. All right. Now that we out of the way, there's nothing to fear. Every successful person that we know that has ever been documented to have success have had more failures than they have had successes. It's
Yes,
just that we focus on the success more than we do. Forgive me. Let me put it like this: the ones that are not attempting the thing and the ones who are witnessing the person who's attempting the thing, we focus more on the success. Like, wow, that's huge. Wow, that's phenomenal. But the person who actually had to do the thing that we're witnessing in the motion, they know about those failures.
yes,
And they're like, oh, let me share something with you.
Yes, sir.
I did 15 of these before I got to this one success. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, failure is a component of anybody who desires to succeed in life.
Yes,
so there's nothing to fear. It's ingrained. It's a piece of it. It's a part of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How do I trust my intuition in moving forward to my goal?
All right. So what is intuition? So we toss that word around quite a bit. And it is said that women have an innate ability to tap into their intuition, and men have a tougher ability because men like to operate from the mind.
Yes, ma'am.
And when we operate from the mind, that is connected to ego. But I want to say that men have just as much opportunity to tap into what we are calling intuition as women do. That's the first thing. I want to debunk a myth.
Yes,
and then
ma'am.
The second thing I want to say is that intuition is, for me, tapping into a higher consciousness of who we are. So everything that I do comes from an energetic, spiritual type of perspective. So when I'm speaking of things, this is where I'm speaking from.
Yes, ma'am.
So when I get quiet, a little example, a little sample that you can do is to sit with yourself and just get quiet where you have no distractions. When information begins to flow to you, that is what's considered intuition. When you utilize that information to achieve a specific task, target, meet a specific aspiration that you are wanting to accomplish, that is you utilizing your intuition to accomplish something that you're wanting to accomplish. That is what happens. Intuition is not this mysterious thing and it just floating around in the atmosphere. It is when you and I get quiet, get silent, and we listen to that inner voice. When we listen to divine guidance, when we act on that intuition, when we act on that divine guidance, and it brings us success. Not just any success, but specifically success that puts us closer to what our purpose is.
Wow.
That to me is what intuition is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do I remain determined in trusting my intuition?
So we just talked a little bit about what tuition is. And when you realize where intuition is flowing from, which is your higher self, which is your divine connection with God, Source, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, whatever you call that higher consciousness of being that you connect with.
Yes, ma'am.
When you know that it is coming from there, there is no reason to doubt that it is divine.
Wow.
So when we connect, when we make those connections and know where it's flowing from, then that is what allows us to be successful in whatever it is that we do. You know that it's coming from a higher vibrational frequency, a more in tune space that can give you direct divine guidance. And that is not going to steer you wrong. The problem that we face is that sometimes it seems impossible to do. Sometimes it seems too simplistic to do. And then we go to that mind space and then we doubt it. If we receive that guidance, know where it's coming from, act on it, and we see the manifestations of us moving just like that to achieve our goals, then we won't have the mishaps. We won't have the long-term routes that we take to achieve something that can be done in a short matter of time. The more we build our intuition, the more we build our follow-up, the more we see success with that, the quicker we're going to start listening to that divine guidance, and the more successful we will be.
Wow. So remaining fearless, going through resilience, trusting my intuition, and being determined, I accomplished my goal. And now that I accomplished my goal, I want to show appreciation. How do I remain appreciative through accomplishing that goal and being thankful?
Yes. So I like to say targets as opposed to goals, because goals are rooted in something which does not carry the highest vibrational frequency of achievement. So I like to say target, hitting my targets, because the truth of the matter is we are never getting to a place of arrival. But we can come to pit stops, which I can say, I'm going to hit this target, I'm going to hit this target, and then I want to ultimately see myself in a position. But then even when I see myself in a position, there are even more targets to hit, right? Yes, so ma'am. I like to say that. And then the next thing is with reference to your question, appreciation.
Yes, ma'am.
So for me, that word appreciation means the more I appreciate, the more I appreciate. The more value I have, the more value come to me. People begin to see the value inside of me. So it's not me doing the appreciation to receive the value. It's me appreciating that's inside of my world. That's the people that are around me, the abilities that I have, me appreciating that, showing gratitude, because those two words for me are synonymous. Yes, showing gratitude so that appreciation becomes a part of who I am. People bring the value to me. I bring value to myself, and me being an example, people begin to value the thing that I value. So I appreciate myself. I appreciate my abilities by honoring them, by showing up everywhere that I go with those values, with those abilities, and offering those abilities as service to all of humanity. That to me is what appreciation is.
Wow. So showing appreciation, hitting my target, how do I not get bogged down by circumstance and keep my youthfulness? How do I do that?
Well, how old do you think I am? Don't answer that. But I do think having a healthy balance, to your question, having a healthy balance in life is the most opportune, the most significant aspect of living. So I like to bring in the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, because when I think of youthfulness, he's the first person that comes to my mind, aside from my parents, who are followers of him. My father recently deceased and was a minister for him. One of the things that I love to study about that is, one, having a direct connection with God, Yahweh, Allah, whatever you call, having a direct connection with that being, with that source.
Yes, ma'am.
Developing communication with that source, so knowing when you are being divinely guided. And then also having some type of ritual. I say ritual but I'm meaning having some type of traditional where when you wake up in the morning, this is what you do, how you eat, how you think, things that keeps you sane, meditation, prayer. All of those things are components of youthfulness, of being able to stick with it when things become difficult, being able to move forward when adversity comes your way. And then knowing that there is nothing that can be formed against me when I have the backing of the people that I love, when I have the backing of an omnipresent being in my life, nothing can stop me. Wow. For me, that's what keeps me youthful. Having those components in my life, and some of them I pull on more than others, depending upon what it is that I'm going through. But definitely having a meditation prayer life. Yes, because ma'am. When all else fails, we have to get to a place of silence. And in that place of silence is where we are reminded truly of who we are. So for me, that's what keeps me going. That's what, in the face of adversity, when everybody else maybe don't believe in the thing that I've been given instruction to do, when nobody else is my support system, yes, that's where I go to. And that is where I gain my strength. And once I get that strength, then I have everybody else coming on board, believing in what I have been told to be truth. Thus said the Lord, as they would say.
Yes, ma'am. So the last and final question is, being fearless, resilient, intuitive, determined, appreciative, and youthful. Out of all these words or principles, what principle sticks out to you the most and why?
Appreciation. That keeps me humble.
Wow.
When I think about, oh my God, and even as I begin to talk about it, I'm about to start tearing up. Yes, because there have been many that have gone before us. Wow. There have been many who have sacrificed much for us to be right here where we are now, whether we feel that our lives are productive and we're able to succeed and be successful in the areas, or whether we are struggling.
Yes, ma'am.
When I go to that state of appreciation, it humbles me to the point to where then I can look around no matter what my circumstances are, and I can identify something that will motivate me to get up and move.
Yes, ma'am.
To get up and succeed, to get up and inspire somebody. Because no matter where I am in life, there is always somebody who have less.
Wow.
There's always somebody who has next to nothing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm always in that place of in the middle, because there's also always somebody who's doing more, who are saying more, wow, who are accomplishing more. So I like that word appreciation for me, because it keeps me in a space of humbleness. It keeps me in a space of self-reflection. It keeps me in a space of always being a student. It keeps me in a place of appreciating, so that those around me can then see how to live a life and have abundance and still be humble.
Wow. 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 I appreciate you coming on here today.
Thank you. I appreciate everything that you are doing. I appreciate, as I mentioned at the beginning, I've seen the work that you are doing, and it's not work. It seemed to be so much fun. It's so much laughter. I've seen this that you're doing, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so grateful for you to continue doing this, to inspire more and more people, and that it spreads like wildfire, that it spreads to where people know there are people all across the world. You've interviewed so many different people all across the world who are doing phenomenal things. And if it's just one thing that we can say or one thing that we can do to inspire you, let this be an avenue for you to go out and do great things. Yes, so thank you so much, Brother Jason, for allowing me to share these few words with you here on your platform.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you as well. What is your website if people want to
My,
contact you?
yes, yes, yes. So my website, you can reach me at www.soulwisdomintl.com. That's SOULWISDOMINTL.com. You can go on there to schedule one-on-one sessions with me. You can go on there to see the workshops that are coming up. You can go on there to see retreats that we are doing. We are in the community. We are doing so many phenomenal things and would love, love, love for you to be a part of it, whichever way most appropriately fits you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Sister Sandy, and you have an excellent day, okay?
Thank you so much. You as well. Peace and love.
You as well. Thank you.